When you're under a lot of stress, you'll get the fight or flight response, which is the sympathetic nervous system. And we're saying that under the stress response, the immune system turns off. You don't need to have a swollen toe. You need to move quickly out of the way of the ongoing boulder coming off the glacial cliff. So in moment's notice, boom. You don't need, in that moment, you don't need to be having inflammation. You don't need to have a stuffy nose. All that goes away. All your illness. I mean, if you got like the flu and you like fall out of the airplane, you may have parachute on, but that doesn't stop your gut feeling that jumping out of the airplane is wrong. Like, I remember it was like this little bitty airplane. It's like, and there's like a backstage parking pass for a Grateful Dead show on it in the corner that I could see. And he had me crawl out, and I had, put your foot on the wheel, and it's only one wheel, so your other foot is like dangling, and I'm holding on to this, like piece of metal that's like coming off the bottom of the wing, and I look off to the side, and I could see like the tops of the mountains, and down below me is like the valley floor. But I'm like at the level of the tops of the mountains. There's nothing in my right mind that says I should let go. It's just crazy. But if you do let go, as you fall down, all your flu-like symptoms disappear until after you get to the bottom. You don't feel sick at all on the way down. All goes away. Adrenalin, the sympathetic nervous system, will turn off your healing. You don't need to heal. It's amazing. Under sympathetic stimulation, your nasal glands, there's vasoconstriction. Okay, let's talk about that. Vasoconstriction. More blood means more function, right? What do you think vasoconstriction means? What's that? Constriction of what? The vaso. What do you think that is?
Blood vessels.
The blood vessels, that's right. So if there's a constriction of the blood vessels going to your nasal glands, do you think there'll be more blood or less blood? Less blood. Less blood means less function. More blood means more function. It's a really big deal. More blood is more function. Very important. Less blood equals less function. Very, very important. Many of the herbs we use work on this principle. What they do is shunt blood to a place or away from a place, thus increasing or decreasing the function of that area, of that organ, of that system. This is how a lot of herbs work, and this is how our body does it. In this instance, it's shunting blood away, and so it dries up. So your sinuses dry up. And that means if you're falling from the airplane, you can breathe. You don't need to take any medication to get rid of your stuffy sinuses. For that instance. Anyone know what the lacrimal gland is? Any guesses?
Teeth.
Not teeth, close.
I was going to say tears.
Tears, that's right. It's a tears. Your tears dry up, which is really weird. It's like, what's the deal? Your nose dries up and your tears dries up. To what advantage is this? Well, believe it or not, the energy that you spent on making tears is diverted to other more important things to save your life. Your life is under risk here. So anything that is not important to you is turned off, and that energy is shunted to other places. Where? Well, we'll find out. So much that your eyes get dry. Which is why some people with chronic stress responses have dry eye issues. Not everybody does, but some people do. And that's the joy of this class. When the person has the dry eye issues, is it because they have dry eyes? And that's why? It's just a thing with them? They inherited it? It's environmental or whatever? Or is it stress related? Should they just get something for their eyes, or should they be taking calming herbs, or they should be working on their stress? Which is it? That's what this class will teach you. How to recognize if the problem presenting itself is in and of itself an issue, or is it a sign of stress.